0.1 nautical miles to go.
500.
And that's 500 above the ground, not above our minimums.
Oh, there's 640.
Minimums. 0.4 to go.
And
0.2.
can't see it.
Okay, you just need to fly.
Okay.
And I'm gonna count us down, and that's the missed approach waypoint, sir. We're not visual, missed approach.
Okay, sweet.
Nose up, power up, the gear is still locked. You want me to take you out of suspend? I'm gonna say I can do that. So, climbing turn now to 1,500 feet, and we're turning left towards YBK. So when we're on the approach, you don't have to go, can we see? Your job is just to keep us at that altitude, 640, and the bar centered. And I'll count down the distance, and if I can see before the missed approach waypoint, I'll tell you we're visual, look up. And if I don't say that, you keep your concentration on the instruments,
Okay.
because the most important thing is to keep the aircraft flying stably in the right place. And we're 100 below, coming up on 1,500. Our post-takeoff checks have been completed. Langley Charlie Hotel Lima is in the mist. We're level at 1,500. And we'd appreciate a left turn towards Tilot when you're able. And they're going to say, Charlie Hotel Lima, Roger, you're cleared for the left turn to Tilot now. Maintain 1,500. I'll say yes, sir. I'll give us Tilot. Flight plan, Tilot, direct to activate. And the course bar is now pointing to Tilot. And because we're VFR pretending to be IFR, it now gets a little bit, oh, really? Is that what IFR is? No, it's not. It's what VFR IFR is. So I'm going to take control.
Okay.
So I have control.
Okay, you control.
We're on our way to Tilot. In real life, we're actually talking to Langley still, but I'm going to say to you, I've talked to Abbotsford. We've been cleared for the ILS runway 07 at Abbotsford via Tilot, and they've asked us to maintain 2,500 feet. So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And your first job is to load that approach into the GPS, because right now we've got 3.7 miles to go to Tilot, and when we get there, if there isn't anything else in the GPS, we're going to smash into a brick wall.
Yeah.
There's no place to go. So load the ILS approach into the GPS.
Procedures. So we approach for Abbotsford, ILS 07 from Tilot.
Yep. And we don't have to check the track and the distances, because we're not doing an RNAV approach. This is just getting us to the ILS.
Okay.
So you look at the map quickly, it shows Tilot, and then the line goes down to Mesar and runs straight into Abbotsford. That makes sense. We're gonna load and activate the approach. And this way, and yeah, you just say okay, because we're not gonna fly out.
Yeah.
This will then give me something to follow from Tilot down to Mesar, and it will turn us inbound on the localizer. That's done. Now back to the map page.
That page we have a
And the message is going to say we're unable to meet the vertical waypoint. And that's because this procedure says at Tilot to Mesar, we're not supposed to be at 3,000. And we can't change that. So every waypoint we get to, it's going to say 3,000. No, we're at 2,500.
Okay.
And I'm going to fly, and you're going to run the approach checklist again.
Okay, we're on the approach checklist again. So the approach checklist. ADIS copy is at altimeter. So for the ILS 07, first ADIS is 119.8.
don't actually need to listen to the ATIS because we're already talking to Abbotsford.
Okay.
And they gave us the altimeter and the wind, and we know we're going to runway 07.
Okay. Then approach clearance confirmed prior to final approach waypoints, which
We have been cleared for the approach via Tillot.
radios, navigates, and GPS. So, Ron, at your tower.
Yeah, at this point, let's put the tower in 119.4. Because by this point, I will actually be talking to the Abbotsford Tower.
Okay. And then after that, we type in ground.
No, because we never talked to ground on arrival. And we're setting up for this approach, and we don't know whether we're going to get in or not in flight test land yet. So if we do the miss, we have to switch to Victoria Terminal.
Okay. Then we don't need YPK anymore. So we switch to the ILS.
Absolutely, very important, and we have to identify it.
Identify it. Okay. And we should put in HUH again.
Yeah, because if we have a miss, that's where we're going.
Yeah. Which is 0. Transfer and then identify that as well.
Well, let's not do that because we're not very far away from our turn onto the localizer. And if you've got 13.0 on the side, on the active side instead of 1097, I'm not going to be able to find the localizer.
Okay.
If we're going to go to Watcom, if we do a miss, then yes, we have to identify it.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can identify it now, but we're going to have to identify it again, so it's just a waste of effort.
Okay. Okay, that's radios, navigates, and then GPS. We have the GPS loaded and activated, but that's just for situational awareness. It's not for navigation aid. Procedures, load, activate, confirm CDI mode. So we are still in GPS mode for terminal right now. And then
Yeah, but we don't care because it's not an RNAV approach, it's an ILS approach.
Okay. And then RNAV we don't care, so ILS. Inbound, confirm idents, and VLOC mode.
So it says turn left now, and so I start the turn left following the GPS. In here, it's going to switch when we're within 30 degrees, it's going to switch to VLOC, and there it is.
Okay.
In the aircraft, the button, the CDI button is going to flash. It's going to go blink, 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 blink. And we have to reach out and actually push the button to switch it to VLOC.
Okay. And then landing lights as required. The approach plate briefing. So for the ILS, runway 07, atmosphere CYXX, expires February 20th, 2025. Here's to ILS minimums. Northwest 6,800. Then the Southwest 3,800. Northeast 7,600. South east 8,100 feet. From Misart to
Well, we're currently at what altitude?
We're currently at 2,500.
Okay. Because it's a radar vectoring altitude. We're supposed to be at 3,000, but there's no sense in saying we're supposed to be at because we're supposed to be at the altitude that the controller told us to be at. When you're briefing, highest to lowest, we are now at 2,500 feet. We'll intercept the glide path, crossing the final approach fix at 2,030 feet, down to a DA of 425 feet on the barrel, 250 on the rattle. that's highest to lowest on the plane.
Highest and lowest on the plane. Okay. So currently at 2,500. We'll pass Lyrum and intercept flight path at 2,030 feet, which is an MTA of 425. We're at 250 on the Radalt. That's minimums. And the overshoot, climbing 800, heading 069, climbing at turn to 3000, heading 195 to intercept inbound HUH, radio 075 to HUH VOR. So we have for radios, we have Absurd Tower, and with the Victoria Terminal on standby. And then we have the ILS, the active, unidentified with HUH standby. Radios, navigate, and then we have GPS here just for situational awareness. Our T timing. So